Okay, so let's talk about indirect objects. Indirect objects are less fun than direct objects. There's not a whole lot to them compared to direct objects, but some students find them difficult because they go after well, you know what, you make up your own mind. Indirect objects, les compléments objets indirects. Let's look and see what is an indirect object. English is different than French in this aspect. And so I'm just going to tell you what traditionally people tell us. And if you don't understand it, just feel happy that you're in the same class with the rest of us, okay? It is an object that usually follows a direct object, but not always. And it's usually introduced by a preposition, but not always. Sometimes, a lot of times actually, in French, you have indirect objects that are direct objects in English and vice versa. So in French, if you wait for someone, that is actually a direct object, even though there's a preposition there. Because you say j'attends quelqu'un. To wait for is all in the word. And let's see, obéir à quelqu'un, to obey basically to someone. Okay, so I obey my parents would be a direct object in English. It is in fact an indirect object in French, okay? But you know, well, I'm not going to get too much into that. I'm really not going to get into that at all because these are words that are special. They will come up. You will learn them gradually, and there's no reason to stress out about it right now, okay? So, how do I find it? Remember, in English, I don't know if you do remember this, but in English you have to have a direct object in order to have an indirect object. In French, that is not the case, okay? So, we're going to go ahead and follow that pattern though, just because it will be easier for us at the moment, okay? Sometimes in French, you can have an indirect object and not have a direct object. Okay, I speak to someone. Okay, this is an indirect object. In French, I believe that would be the object of the preposition. So if you like grammar, this is fabulous. If you do not like grammar and you do not understand, like I said, join the club. I was the exact same way. I had no idea what anyone was talking about. It was when I actually learned French that I was able to understand my own language. All right. So we're going to follow this pattern though, because this is the pattern that you're going to use at the moment if you're just beginning to learn how to use indirect and direct objects, okay? Find the verb, ask verb who, verb what. This is the direct object, okay? Remember, we're going to find the direct object in order to find the indirect object, okay? So if you've already seen the video that I did on direct objects, you know how to do this. If you haven't, I suggest that you go and you watch that video. Okay, once you've got the direct object, you can say to whom or for whom. All right, so let's try this. Let me give you an example. Je donne le vélo à mon frère. All right, we find the verb, which is give. Give who, give what. Not give to who. All right, it's give who, give what. Don't add anything into that construction because that's what's going to give us our direct object. Give who, give what. We're going to give le vélo, which is the bicycle, and that is our direct object. So now, to whom or for whom? Give the bike to whom? Give the bike for whom? Give the bike to my brother. So my brother becomes the indirect object. I give the bike to my brother. All right? It's following so far? I know it seems complex, but you know what? Once you get this down, once you've practiced it over and over again, you're thinking to yourself, how could I ever have a conversation if it's going to take me 5 minutes just to figure out where this grammatical concept is and how to utilize it? Don't worry about that right now. Just do what you can right now and it will become normal, okay? I asked myself the same thing. And now, whenever I speak, I don't think about it. When I speak in French, I don't think about it any more than I think about it in English because you get used to the way it sounds, the repetitions, and you use them enough. All right, but right now you focus on the structure and it will come. Let me give you another example. Ils lisent le livre aux élèves. All right, lise here is our verb. Okay, read who or read what? We're reading the book. So the book is our direct object. To whom, for whom. We're reading the book to whom, we're reading the book for whom, we're reading it to the students. The indirect object is therefore to the students. Okay, so what are the objects? Oops. The objects are je, me, tu, te. You seeing a pattern here? You've already learned the direct objects. They're exactly the same. The me, the te, the nu, and the vous are directly the same. Okay? The only thing that you need to know are two forms for the indirect objects, and that's lui, which goes with il and elle, and leur, which goes with il and elle. Those are the only two new objects. Okay? So me, te, lui, nous, vous, and leur. Those are the indirect objects, okay? So now you're asking yourself, okay, wait a minute. How do I know if it's an indirect object compared to a direct object? It's in context, okay? And nobody who's having a conversation with you is going to stop and say, now, wait a minute, is that a direct or an indirect object, okay? So don't be too concerned about it. All you need to know at this point is that there are two new objects for you to know, and those are lui and leur, all right? So where do they go? They go in the same place that the direct objects go. They go in front of the verb they're associated with. So je donne le livre au prof. Je lui donne le livre. I give to him the book. Elle lit l'histoire aux élèves. Elle leur lit l'histoire. She reads the story to them. All right, just like before. Remember, if you have two verbs, that it's going to probably go in front of the second verb. If you have one verb, it's probably going to go in before the first one. All right, this is really important. Really, 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 really important. Indirect object pronouns are for humans and animals only. So you're asking yourself, okay, well, how do I say to it? Don't worry about that right now. That's another pronoun, and it comes later. For the moment, just know that if your indirect object is not a human or animal, you cannot use these. Well, you can, but it's wrong. Okay? Indirect object pronouns are for humans and animals only. Okay? So don't use them with objects. Very, very important that you remember that because that trips a lot of people up at the very beginning. And even intermediate and advanced, they get confused with this, okay? So put it into your mind. If you see lui and leur and me, te, and nous and vous and all that, that's only with people when you're talking indirect objects. Not with direct objects, just with indirect. Okay. So now you may be asking yourself, what about putting them and using them together? Yes, you can. Here is our chart. The ones that go first are me, te, nous, and vous. The ones that go next are le, la, and les. And the ones that go after that are lui and leur. All right? You can put them both in the sentence just like you do in English. All right? This is just the order. So the first ones, me, te, nous, and vous, those are the first ones that you would put into the sentence. The second ones would be le, la, and les, and then lui and leur. I'm going to give you an example. Je donne le livre au prof. This is one of my favorite examples, obviously. Je le lui donne. You see, lui comes before leur. Okay, je le lui donne. It does not matter if the me, te, nous, and vous is direct or indirect. It has no bearing. Okay, the me, te, nous, and vous always goes first. Me, te, nous, and vous can be direct. It can be indirect. Does not matter. It goes first, and then le, la, or les, or lui and leur. Okay, so if you say he gave it to me, even though me there is an indirect object and it is a direct object, il me le donne, or il me la donne, depending what the it is. Il me les donne. All right, it doesn't matter if it's indirect or direct. Me, te, nous, and vous goes first, le, la, and les second, lui and leur third. Okay, so let's put this together. Here's my favorite example. Je donne les livres au prof. Okay, remember, give the books to whom, and that's to the teacher. So we have to replace it. Remember, we have to replace it. You don't keep au prof there, right? Je lui donne le livre. Elle parle français à ses amis. Speak who, speak what? Speak French. There's my direct object. Speak French to whom? Speak French for whom? To her friends. That's our indirect object. So we're going to cross that out because we can't use that anymore. We're going to replace it. Elle leur parle français. She speaks French to them. Okay, c'est à toi. Your turn. You're going to go ahead and answer these. Make sure to stop me if you need more time. Elle chante la chanson à ses filles. Fils. Ready? Elle leur chante la chanson. She sings the song to them. Nous téléphonons à grand-mère. Ready? Nous lui téléphonons. We call her. Il résiste à la police. So this is one of those that is the indirect object in French that would not be in English. Résister à someone, to resist someone. Il résiste à la police. You ready? Il lui résiste. And in this case, police is actually, I wanted to say policeman, which is policier, but I put la police in there. La police is actually not going to be human, right? But we're going to just say it is. Tu vas désobéir à tes parents? Ready? Tu vas leur désobéir? Need more practice. You can try le point, the FL, ou Kia, and you can find both of them on my webpage under the resources. My webpage, williamsmechery.weebly.com. You can go to French and you will find a whole list of resources that can help you practice this and a bunch more concepts. I do hope this has helped you understand a little bit better indirect objects.